Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Soren. Soren is from Las Vegas in the USA. So let's see what Soren has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Soren, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
No worries. No worries.
So tell me, how is your morning going so far?
Pretty good. I was a little nervous about this morning, so I spent some time chatting with my husband and kind of talking about uh the whole process. So I'm feeling better now.
Feeling more, feeling more relaxed now?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
My God, your tattoo on your arm is very like attractive. I can see it's something just I can look at it. Tell me about it.
It's pretty recent. It was kind of um I had a really bad one, this a small bad tattoo there that I hated for 25 years, and finally got this just earlier. Well, I guess almost a year ago now, and
Wow.
it's a phoenix, a blue phoenix.
Is there any meaning behind, or is just you like it?
Yeah, I mean it was really associated with me trying to sort of put a stake in the ground and say this is a new time. I really like the metaphor and the sort of relationship that a phoenix has with rebirth and starting over again, and especially with having to completely burn everything to the ground first. So it seemed like a good thing, and I go by Soren Blue, so I wanted it to be not a typical Phoenix. I wanted it to be, blue flames, because it
Wow.
just like more like ethereal almost. Yeah.
And are you planning for the next one, or you kind of just go with the flow?
I mean, this one was enough for now. I was in the chair for like 10 hours, um so I'm good. Although it's long enough now that I'm like, maybe I'll do something over here, get the other one filled in too. But I really love it. So, if even if it's the only one I get, I'm gonna be like, I'm thrilled with it. So the guy did an amazing job.
Amazing. Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, look at this tattoo. I like the color as well. It's kind of very
Yeah, that's why
different.
it took so long, because blue fights to really get the vivid color, and that was my big issue. I wanted it to be super vivid. So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Great.
it.
So, Sorry, tell me where you're from.
Originally, I was born in southeastern New Mexico, so very close to Texas. So that's kind of like ranchers and oil field worker kind of vibes. Really
Right.
small.
And I believe now you are living in Las Vegas right now.
Las Vegas, yeah. We've lived all over. We just moved here from the Bay Area 2 years ago.
I see. And why Las Vegas?
Um, Really, we lived in a lot of other places in the Southwest, like Phoenix and New Mexico, and um, we were like we needed a place where it was hot. We were in the Bay Area for 20 years, and I was like, I need sunshine. Like today, it's like 45 degrees, but the sun is out, and that's enough for me. Like if I can just lay in the sun a little bit, like a cat.
And tell me, what do you do for work, for living? Sorry.
Um, I I am a massage therapist primarily.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of part-time-ish kind of thing, but it's like body work with a kind of a spiritual and often like sensual component to it as well. So I do that, and then kind of on the side right now I'm doing adult video stuff, amateur base. So I'm not making a ton of money on that either, but it's fun. I enjoy it. So I have like a fan page and that kind of a thing. Um,
Amazing.
Yeah, and I've sold some of my art. I do art as well here and
Mhm.
there. Right now, I'm focused on video stuff, and I build things like I built that bookshelf. So like,
Wow.
so that's where I'm at right now. So also looking at getting back into some painting and things, but
Amazing. I think it's so interesting for us to be able to do different things and different passion and explore different areas as well. I think it's
absolutely.
fascinating about, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the only. I was in tech. I was a systems engineer for over 20 years, and but I'm not really neurotypical. I kind of am on the autism spectrum, and that kind of work just got harder and harder as I advanced through it, and it kind of didn't work. My brain couldn't really handle it ultimately. So yeah, now that I'm doing, I've always had a creative line running through my life, but now that I'm not working in an office, it's been really good to be able to like have my own ideas about where to spend my time and where to make my money and like be a little bit more in control of my own destiny, I guess, right?
Amazing. Okay, so during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your art, about your journey, and also about your point of views. Okay,
All right, super.
amazing.
We're gonna get to
Sorry.
dance. Do we get to dance?
Yes, we're gonna dance for the game. Sure. So before we start our journey within the magic box, so would you like you to tell me something interesting about yourself?
um, I mean, I would say I have what I think is most interesting is I have broad interests. I really like to follow, you know, like drag queens and that kind of world, as well as like physics and astrophysics and like all of the scientific things that are happening in the world and things that are cutting edge and coming out like in medicine and in science, things like that. So I think just being like broadly interested in the world, and um, like things that are unusual or um, like yeah, things that a lot of like that I find just little bits of knowledge and information that I find really fascinating, even if it's you know de- yeah, just across a broad spectrum. I guess that would be a good way.
All right. Soren, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Sure.
Sure, sure. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So, this is my best friend. Okay, full of random questions. So, I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Yes, to relax. I think dancing it's a way of relax. Okay,
Okay.
let's do it. And you are a good dancer, I can see. Right. So before we start the journey, during the game, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So first question for you is, what's the best advice have you ever given?
Um, I think the advice that I give the most often that I think is really good, that if you're looking for a relationship or you're in a relationship and you find somebody that you like to be around, like love is easy, I think. Like you can fall in love very easily, but like if you've been around them for years and you still like them, like you like to be in the same room with them, you like to do things with them, then even if it's hard, even if you don't know how you're going to make it work, like stick to it, because that's the thing right there. Like even really good relationships are hard, I think, especially over a long period of time. And so if you find somebody that you really like, do what it takes to make it work, because it doesn't get better than that, in my opinion.
Saying that, what's the meaning of love for you?
The meaning of love?
Yeah.
Um, oh wow, that's broad, because I find that, especially now that I've been doing massage for years, the for me it is as simple sometimes as just um, finding the humanity in another person and being able to just accept them as they are, regardless of anything about them. Especially, I get a lot of people on my massage table who are very nervous about their body, and they feel uncomfortable uh, with being seen or touched, and being because maybe because they're not happy with their body, or it's not shaped the way that they want, or whatever it happens to be, and being able to provide them with that space of going, uh, you're fine, you're good exactly as you are. You can worry about what you want to change, that's fine, but right now, on in the spot, I have no problems, no judgments. You are what you are. You're a human being. I can interact with you like I do with everybody else. And I think for me, that's like the key, right? That's the base of what I think love is. Um, but it also goes into a completely different, like it can be much more intense than that too. So
Mhm.
like like I have a dog that I love in a way that I am surprised by. Like my heart hurts when I think about how much I love that dog. And I have a husband that we've been together for over 30 years now. And
Wow.
so, that also, so like there's different kinds, but to me it all feels similar in a lot of respects. It's just intensity.
I totally agree with you. I think love, can there are different kinds of love. There are different ways of loving as well. And I believe that, when you have this feeling that gives butterflies, that gives this, moment of gratitude, of this moment of happiness, I think that's the meaning of love. When you feel it genuinely, it doesn't matter which direction. As you
Sure,
as you
sure.
said, it doesn't matter you are literally with someone sharing a moment when you're doing a massage, but you feel it, this
Right.
nice feeling. So I think, you can live it and see it such a different way. So when it comes from a
Exactly.
genuine place and comes for, that's the meaning of love for me as well.
I that Yeah, that works.
Next question. Let's do it.
Okay.
The next question for you is, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Um, I don't have the slightest idea. Um, I'll be honest. That's not really how my life tends to operate. I have I feel like I've lived 20 different lives already. Um, I know that I'll still have my husband with me. I can say that with confidence. Um, and I would like to think that some of the projects that I'm working on uh, will will come to fruition a little bit better. Where like I love doing art, I love doing like videos and all of this kind of stuff. Um, but in this society, if you're not getting money for it, it's hard to show value. Like even though I find it valuable, it's hard to like feel like it's valuable in the world, because money's the only way we tend to validate anything, right? So what I would like to see in 5 years is just, um, now that I've rearranged my life around the things that are more important to me, I would like to be able to get those things to be also a better revenue income, a better revenue stream for me. Yeah, and yeah, and also there's a lot with my husband's work that I help him with, because he's both an artist and we're a house artist, but he's a marriage and family therapist as well. And
Mm.
so he's working on classes and other things like that. So I help him um, promote his art. I help him promote, his the kind of classes that he's doing, things like that. So I would like to also be more involved in that, and I hope that his stuff is taking off as well.
Do you feel like you are living the best moment of your life? You are in the best place of your life right now?
Um, Personal, like in my own head and in my own like perception of what's important to me, yeah, I think that's true.
Mhm.
um I've certainly made more money at different times in my life, and I've had more of this, that, or the other thing. But yeah, it was a long it was a long trip. The last 5 years or so have been really, I think that's part of the reason that I got the tattoo as well, was that going, this is who I am, that's okay. And I'm gonna like lean into what I actually am rather than what I feel like um, other other things or people are trying to expect out of me or force me into. And so even though it's not always the easiest life, I'm definitely more satisfied with it. Does
Mhm.
that make sense? Like it feels right, even though it doesn't always feel easy.
Yeah, and that's the balance as well. That's why you feel the best because as you said, it feels right, but not easy. And I think they work together as well. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And if I had to choose, I would take right over easy. Because I've taken the other, and it turns out to not be very easy after all. It hurts in other ways. So yeah. So I think
Cool.
yeah, I'm in a pretty good place.
Next question, Soren. Let's do it. All right. So before the next question, being a massage therapist, yeah, of course, you deal with a lot of energy. You share energy, you give energy, you take energy. It's a moment. It's a moment with
Right, for
someone
sure.
that you're having a very powerful moment where a lot of things can go. Energy you can share, you can take, you can give, you can. It's a lot of things happen at the same time, and of
Absolutely.
course, most of the time as a massage therapist, you take a lot of energy to you kind of take this energy, and sometimes they're not the best energy. Sometimes, of course, people mostly when they go to have a massage, of course, there is a lot of things behind, but they want to relax, they want to give away this, maybe something that is bothering their body or their mind, or something connect with that. And
Absolutely.
as a massage therapist, of course, sometimes you get involved as well with this energy. For you personally, for you, do you find like a mechanism or something that you do to protect your energy, not to take this energy to your personal life, if you know what I mean? There is a way for
Um,
you with that.
yeah, it's not as hard for me as I would have thought it would be before I started. I think it's because for me, like massage was sort of like I mean, I don't know if it's too dramatic to say it saved my life. Um, but after, so I had to leave the tech industry because of some mental health challenges that it really sparked. And it took me a lot of years to try to figure out what I was going to do next. Um, and so when I go into massage, the thing that felt so healing for me was that when I would work at an office doing tech work, before I would go in, I would have to make a bubble around myself. I had to find a center and then struggle all day long to maintain that center, right? Whereas when I go to massage, maintaining my center is part of the experience, right? It's not a defense mechanism. It's a part of connecting with the client, right? So for me, having, especially now that I've had good training and I'm confident in what I do, um, I can operate on a client, interact with them, and the energy that they have, I feel pretty comfortable with that staying with them, right? I do my best to infuse it, to, transmute it a little bit, um, and to find that point, that touch, that like energetic resonance with them that allows them to let go of some of that stuff. Um, but when it's over, I I don't know. For me, it's comparatively, it's so much easier. I feel like I developed so many mechanisms for maintaining my energetic space through such harsh environment where they don't give a shit, where you're working in tech, they don't care what your emotional space is inside your head, right? And when I finish up with a massage, I often feel so much more like I feel more centered, more invigorated. I feel like, they are leaving feeling so much better that I don't know, I haven't had it be a big problem for me. Yeah. So I think that's kind of how I know this is where I should be, right?
Totally, absolutely. I think that again about love is a genuine feeling that it just feels right being there, doing what we are doing.
Exactly. 100% that.
Amazing. Next question for you is tell us a funny story or a moment that happened to you when you were a child at school that you're never gonna forget.
When I was a child at school, that's so long ago. um,
Did you like school?
um, I was really good at school. I wasn't so good with the social side of things, but it was a very small school. So uh, I was motivated to be the top of my class and to make sure that so I graduated it first in my class and so I could get my scholarships to go to college and things like that. So yeah, I enjoyed school in that respect for sure. But I mostly was just ready to get out of my little town, so where I focused a lot of my time. But like in school proper, um, oh, I know one that was fun. It didn't really happen to me. It was just I had a lot of coaches teach classes that I felt like they shouldn't be teaching, like history and things like that. They were bad at it, and I think I don't remember. It was one of those kinds of like you know I don't remember. I don't know how I even was able. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The coach I didn't respect. I didn't think he was good. I was a senior in high school. I knew what my grade was going to be already. He asked all of us to write some thing, and I made up a country. I made up a country in Africa. I talked about all of its like I just did the whole thing, like all of its uh, uh, imports and exports and the political. If I just made it all up, and because I was like, if he catches me, I'll make a zero. It won't matter. I'll still make an A in the class. So this will be fun. And I'm just curious to see. I got an A on the paper on a
Wow.
country that did not even exist. Um, so all my friends thought that, I mean, classmates in French thought that was just the most hilarious thing ever. And the guy never found out that I just made it up. That was fun.
I was about to ask, so he thought that was a real country.
Yeah, if he even read it, honestly, that
Oh
was
my,
kind of my point, was that I knew, like, he knew what kind of work I turn in. And if he read something and he didn't know about it, he would just assume I knew something that he didn't.
I see.
But he was
Interesting. Oh
totally
wow.
dumb. And that was my form of rebellion when I was in high school, was just like, see if I could sort of make fun of, make a fool of the teacher.
Wow. Very creative as well at the same time. You see
Yeah,
the
well, I just
artistic
use these
side?
writing skills to my advantage.
I love the idea. My God. Imagine people watch this interview right now and like, now I know what I'm going to do for my next, you know what I mean? With they're still studying or still in school or university. Ready for another question?
Sure.
Are you feeling more relaxed?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you.
Amazing. Very good. Next question. Right. So before the next question, tell me about the idea of, enter the world of creating adult content. When the idea came along.
You know, I've wanted, like, even when I was young, I thought the idea of being a like a sex worker or somebody that, like, I always thought that was kind of cool. Like I was like, wait, you can have sex and get paid for it? I mean, this was even before I realized that I was gay. Um, I just thought it was just I was intrigued by the idea of it. And so, but just we have a kid, and I so especially when they were younger, I just the idea I just was like, I can't do this. I can't put this out there. Um, but again, after my tech stuff fell apart, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do with my life? I was like, well, this is fun. I like doing this kind of thing. And like, I'm going to be doing it anyway. I might as well get some on video. And I'm a big exhibitionist. I love it when people watch my stuff, or in person, in groups and things like that. I'm just kind of, that's just kind of how I am. So during the pandemic, I had just started doing that. Actually, I had a scene with Jack Dixon, who you've interviewed, about 5 or 6 months before the pandemic hit. And so I did that, and I was like, this is fun. This is awesome. I want to do this more. And I was working on trying to, like, get my body in a little bit better shape and all that kind of stuff. And then when the pandemic hit, I was like, now I'm screwed. And so I started hearing about things like OnlyFans, and I was like, well, okay, what does that require? And compared to previous times I'd looked at things like video editing and things like that, in a decade before, the entry points were so much easier, like so much lower barriers to entry than they used to be. I was like, my phone is doing good. I can get good video with my phone. I can get good. So I was like, let's just see how it goes. Um, so a lot of it was just solo stuff at first because of the pandemic, and then that summer I started like really digging out into the Twitter world and other places to find other people that were doing similar things, um, that were nearby, and started communicating with them and talking to them. And so I picked up a few really, really great collabs, and I had so much fun with it, that, and then learning a lot, learning about social media stuff and trying to get that out there, and learning how to do video editing and lighting and all of the little things that make it functional so that you can still do it before, because especially in my place, like, I don't have a camera guy, like, I'm setting up cameras and trying to get the right shots, and still trying to perform without it being um, like just completely blowing the mood. So
And
yeah, it was another, like, creative outlet for me. Like, I was like, oh, it's just like any of the other art that I do. I have to learn some basic technical skills and then just kind of run with it and see how it goes.
and people, when they go to visit your page or to see your content, tell me something unique or different or something special about your page that people gonna find there when they check it out.
Oh, well, most of, like, I have a lot of massage based content. So,
Ah,
uh,
okay.
I, yeah, a lot of the guys, I love, I love massaging guys that are much more recognizable in the porn world. So I've gotten several guys on my table that, like, that really, really bumps my stuff up a lot, because I mean, I'm an older guy. I've got an okay body, but it's not, I'm not like muscled or, abs or any of that kind of stuff. So it's always nice to have somebody on my table who is. um, and yeah, and just being able to show, I'm getting better at showing the kind of work I do in massage,
Mhm.
um, as well. But yeah, it can be very, very kind of spiritual, but it can also be, I'm kind of, I can be kind of piggy and yeah. So
I see. Okay. Next question for you is, tell me something that you can't live without.
I can't live without my phone. I mean, and that's a cheap answer, but I mean, I just do everything on my phone. I finally got a computer to do video editing stuff, so I don't have to do that on my phone anymore. Um, yeah, that. But like coffee, that's another one. Those are the easy. Those are like the like kind of silly, easy ones, like coffee and bacon and my phone. But my husband, especially, like that. He's the top of the list, though. So
Oh, I think our phone became like an extension of our hands. You know what I mean? It's like
absolutely.
it's there. You know what I mean? You are there. It's sometimes even unconscious. You have on your phone there, and as you said, you work on your phone nowadays. There's so much you
Exactly.
do in your phone that it became like a very it's a necessity. Like it's an
Well, yeah, and it's a tool for so many things. It's a tool
yeah,
not only for communication, but for the videos that I do
yeah.
and social stuff. My our kid tells me that I'm like a very Gen X, that I use my phone like a Gen Xer, that I just never put it down and I'm always on it.
Amazing. Three questions left for you. Let's do it.
Okay.
Next question for you is talking about, your partner. What's the most romantic thing someone has ever done for you?
It's all of my romance is with my husband basically, because I was 19 when we met. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So it's been a minute. And I think the I think honestly one of the most romantic things that we ever did was really early on, before we were actually dating. We we went for a long, like, we came back. I came back to college. I was so happy to see him. We got in my truck. We just drove around town. We talked and talked and talked and talked and went back to his place and talked and talked and talked and talked until like the sun came up. And I
Wow.
think, especially at the time, having somebody like, I always felt like I talked too much and bored people with the stuff that I was always terrified that was what was happening. So I had a lot of childhood messages about that. Um, and to find somebody who was just engaged in what I had to say and what I thought about things, and like was this back and forth, and we just, yeah, I mean, those kind of moments where I feel like I'm being seen are probably the most romantic
Wow.
moments that we've had. Those are big. Those are big for me. Those really stand out in my memory.
Over those, you said 30 years that you've been together. My goodness, what a beautiful story. My God, it's amazing to see in the gay scene, gay guys, standing together and sharing a relationship for
Well, and it's even more complicated than that, because
no, of course. Yeah.
but when we met, my husband was assigned female at birth. So when we met, he was still presenting as a woman. So we got married and had a kid, and then he transitioned. He's yeah, he's like two spirit, and so he transitioned to be living full time as a man.
Ah,
At the same time, I was realizing that I was gay. So we spent about 7 years together before he started transitioning. More than that, I guess. Um, he started transitioning in 2000.
wow.
Um, which was about, our kid was about 5 or 6 years old at the time. And so yeah, like that whole process was complicated, but in a lot of respects it was so freeing for both of us, because it was like, oh, now this all makes sense, why we weren't, why stuff was complicated when we were both trying to be straight.
Interesting. Oh wow. Oh my God,
Yeah,
it made even more interesting now your story. Like to
that's
get
why yeah, it's like, it's weird because it's so long ago that it does, and like it's so normalized for us that I forget sometimes how different that is in other people's lives. But yeah, so it became just like our whole relationship was about, like, I when we met, I was like a very strong fundamentalist Christian, and he was Lutheran. And so we both were trying so hard to fit into the expectations of like our family and our religion and all of this. And then we just kind of got to a point where it's just like I like you, you like me, and we love each other. And like, I'm tired of pretending to be something that I'm not, and so are you. So let's
oh,
just not anymore. So
amazing.
we had to go through that growing process of like figuring out who we are, and managing, uh, just managing all of those relationship issues, and realizing how many of them were, they were external to us, right? A lot of our challenges were not our challenges; they were challenges that the two puppets that we were presenting to the world were having with each other, not challenges that we were, right? So you get rid of the puppets and suddenly everything, like, oh, that's so much better, right?
Wow. Amazing. My goodness. Thanks for sharing, Sorry. I think it's
No
amazing
worries.
to know that. And, it's so great to see you talking about that because, so many people out there, they might be in the same situation or maybe starting a relationship with the same situation that you had in the past. And now seeing someone talking so open, so free, I think it's amazing to see that. Amazing.
Yeah, it's very validating for your partner to be able to honestly say to them, it doesn't matter to me. You do whatever you need to do. I mean, that's why I'm doing the kind of work that I'm doing now, is because I'm getting that from him as well. If this is what's important to you, if this is how, then let's figure it out. Let's figure out what needs to happen for you to do that. And that is yeah, that's the best thing you can hope for from a partner, right? I mean, just
Wow.
accept it.
And be and in parenting, yeah, in the situation that you both um uh be like always being the same, your truly self. How is or how was for you, having a kid and parenting,
Mhm.
at the same time as well, the transition between, your husband and you find your truly self as well. Can you walk me through a little bit about how is the
Yeah,
journey?
I mean, it was one of the easiest parts of, like, going through the transition stuff was actually not very complicated,
Mhm.
um, for them. Um, it was just like a few months of like adjustment, and then they were fine with it, right? But our kid is also non-binary. They identify as non-binary, and have autism as well, but kind of a more extreme presentation than I had. But so we all, those things were more challenging, like figuring out how to understand what what the needs of our kid was, especially back then, because they're about to turn 29, and back then uh, uh, there was really not good information about how to like work through some of the autistic challenges. So that's one of the reasons my husband became a psychiatrist or a psychologist to me,
Wow.
was because he really was digging in to all of the mental health challenges of dealing with a kid with autism. And, it kind of just, he like read everything that there was on the subject. So I'm very thankful for him for that as well, because I was not as good at it as he was. So I'm really glad that he was there to go, no, 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 let's do it this way. And I was like, okay, that's probably better.
Very good. Good one. 2 questions left.
Oh,
Let's do
cool.
it. Right, but before the next question, tell me a little bit about your art on your side. Is this painting yours as well on the wall?
Yeah, the painting is mine. Most of the stuff on this is mine as well.
Wow.
So like that's the thing. Like I've done so many. Like this is some sculptures that I did. This wood piece was a piece for like it was a solid block to begin with, just a 4x4 solid block, and I did this for a show where I like modified it into this box.
Wow.
So everything on this, all of the wood on this was part of the original block.
Wow. Amazing. Wow.
So things like that, that's kind of been all over the place as far as my art goes. So yeah, like I say, now I'm doing more. I just built a desk for our kid, and I built this bookshelf, and that kind of stuff. I like working with wood. I'm gonna make some more furniture things as well.
Wow.
So yeah, and the painting was a different time. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the through line of my work, like the sculpture here, this seated sculpture here, it was working with chakras. And so like there's the chakra colors that I did in a mosaic on it. And so a lot of my work was really has always been focused on capturing something ephemeral about spirit and about energy, and trying to present that in a way that works. I don't know if you can see the one over this shoulder, but it's also that kind of a thing where it's sort of moving the energy through the whole body. It's black lights. That one's black light sensitive too, so it kind of lights up all of these energy lines that go through his chakra column. So those kind of things have always been interesting to me anyway, and so it definitely seeps over into my massage work as well. Of like having that be part of my creative process and my art is to explore those energetic pathways.
Very briefly, in your shelf there's different arts. Tell me, I know it's hard, but what's your favorite one, or what's the one that you go like, okay, if something goes wrong, I just can take I can save one. Which one would be?
Probably this seated sculpture here.
Okay.
Here, I'll show you close.
Oh wow, now I can see properly. Oh my god. Wow.
So like, yeah, so all of this is glass. So this is a ceramic piece that I built from hand and then fired. And then so the chakra colors you can see kind of go up through. Yeah. Right. So this is one of my favorite pieces because it really was kind of the point. Oh, and in the back as well.
Oh wow, amazing.
So yeah, this was one of the ones that is really important to me because it was meant to sort of represent me and my attempt to like center myself. I made this back when I was still working in tech. So
wow.
Yeah, on this shelf, that's definitely my favorite one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question for you is, what's your spirit animal?
Oh, I could have answered that easily a while back, but I don't know that I've thought about it in a while. Because it's not what it used to be. How interesting. Right now, I would say probably a phoenix. I know that's, I mean, spirit animal might as well be fantastic anyway. But that's really where I guess I'm focusing my energy. It's been other things in the past. Um, but yeah, I would say right now, that would be it.
Phoenix. Okay, cool. Ready for the
For
last
all the
one?
reasons.
Sorry?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, please say.
I was just saying for all the reasons that I had mentioned earlier of just that that's the archetypes of like burning it down and building it up have been thematically very consistent in my life of, okay, that's not working, everything goes to zero, and now what do we do with the rest to rebuild it into something different and better.
Amazing. Very good. It says a lot, Phoenix.
It does, yeah. It's a lot of good context in there.
Shall we do the last one?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Last question. But before the last question, through your career as a massage therapist, tell me a moment or a situation that you're never gonna forget. That's, you know, a connection that you have with a client or something that happened during your session that's always gonna have a special place in your heart.
Yeah, I've had some really emotional experiences with clients. I would say there's been a couple of times, but one in particular that I remember, that the client was having a lot of challenges with just life being overwhelming to him, and having, you know, some problems with his partner being sick and them taking care of his mother-in-law who was also sick, and he was just almost like he's like kind of in a daze, right? And as I was working on him and telling him, you know, kind of giving him positive feedback and telling him it's okay and you can let go of this and stuff, and he was he cried, and like having that opportunity to have a space for him to just let go and to be able to hug him and just let him cry for a little while, and really get that out, and then move on with the massage to help work through those things out of his body was, you know, those are the moments that those kinds of things really stick with me, where I go, yeah, this isn't just rubbing somebody, this is important. People need touch, people need to know that there's this positive, you know, unconditional regard for them, that you know, just giving them that space to actually go, nothing else out there matters right now. And yeah, I would say those are always the best, when I feel like they walk away going, wow, I really needed that. That was, you know, that I feel more myself, I feel more connected, I feel more capable of functioning in the world. Yeah, and yeah, just providing that space is a big deal.
Amazing. Last question for you is, what makes you the happiest?
I mean, I don't want to be redundant. I am very happy when I'm working, when I'm doing massage. Like, it's actually like, and that's shocking to me. Like, shocking that I could have a job that makes me happy instead of a job that I'm fighting all the time to try to be happy in spite of, right? Yeah, doing work like this really does make me happy. That and going out and doing things with my husband, those two things are, right now especially, And honestly, that's all I really want, you know, like that fulfilling vibe of having my work mean something to me and having my relationship be strong, and to know that I've got this person who's always has my back, and takes care of me and knows me better than I know myself. Those are the two things that make me the happiest.
Amazing. Good,
Sure.
very good. And I can see your husband right now watch this interview and smile with this beautiful answer.
Yeah.
Right, it's not the
Yeah.
end yet. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away
Okay.
some words. Just tell one word for that comes to your mind. Okay, quick thinking.
All right.
Let's start with money.
Necessary evil.
Fear.
Don't avoid it. I don't know what the right.
Okay, no right or wrong. Whatever comes to your mind. Family.
Chosen.
Life.
Life. Random.
Love.
Commitment.
Sex.
Awesome.
That was very quick.
Always, often.
Religion.
Awful, evil, the worst.
Okay, politics.
Ridiculous but necessary.
Friendship.
Vulnerability.
Desire.
Fleeting.
Regret.
Yeah.
Okay. Success.
Freedom.
Wish.
Imaginary.
Okay. Happiness.
Inconsistent.
One word. I like that actually. It's so true. It's so true. You're not happy all the time. It's kind of up
Yeah.
and down, which is
And
amazing.
that's okay.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. It's
that's
amazing.
okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. One word for Las Vegas.
Crazy. Extra, I would say. Extra.
One word. Actually, it just came to my mind now. When you think about Las Vegas, you think about, the casinos, the party, the nightlife. How is the gay scene there? It's quite intense as well, as we have this perception about Las Vegas, about, party. It's the same thing as well, or not? It's a different
Well,
concept.
like, you've got the townies and the strip, right? And people on the townies are just, they live out away from the strip. And unless they work there, they usually don't go there, right? Because it's so crazy.
Right.
It's just so much input, right? I don't do gambling. I don't drink very much. So it's like, there's not a lot pulling me there unless I have a client. And it's crazy there. It's just always at an 11.
But there are like gay bars and gay scene as well. Also not.
A little bit. I'm kind of surprised at how, like, the space here is not anti-gay, I would say, but it's also not very gay. It's a
see.
very straight world in the strip,
I see.
and like straight Midwestern people come here, and so it's very much that, right? There's a few gay bars around, but the gay community is pretty scattered, and a lot of the people that live here don't have as much. They're not. A lot of times they're not out, or they're not out in a obvious way. They're sort of like a soft. There's a lot of people that hide it and are in the closet and things like that. So it makes it difficult to find groups to really interact with.
I see. Interesting. It just came to my mind now, actually. I'm glad you said that because I kind of never thought this way. Because, when you think about Las Vegas, you have this, this perception, which is true. As you said, it's crazy, it's fun, it's party. But I never thought about how about the gay scene there, you know what I mean? Good points, good points.
Yeah.
One word for USA.
Oh. um, Identity crisis.
One word for adult content creator.
I would say intense. Yeah, it's intense, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
One word for artist.
I don't want to say starving.
You already said. You already said.
I would, yeah, I mean, yeah, let's just go on.
Okay. And the last one now, massage therapist, one word.
Necessary.
Okay, good. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your husband for a coffee and I'm going to ask your husband. Define sorry in one positive word and one negative word only. What he would say.
Weird. That's the good one.
Okay.
I like that. Negative. Self-doubt.
It feels so good to know that we are weird, that we are different, that we don't fit in different tribes, that we are literally weirdo. I love that. I think it's a gift when you are weirdo and when you feel weirdo. I think it's a gift. It's like free. You feel free,
especially when you don't have to be in a place where that's not okay.
Amazing.
Been 20 years pretending I'm not weird in front of everybody. That's a lot of work.
Let's play now, Soren and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But all right. But before you ask me the question, very briefly, if you could choose anyone, in the world to collaborate in a scene or in a content, in adult content, who that would be? And the other part of the question is, if you could choose anyone in the world to lie down in your massage table for you to do a massage, which person that would be?
Oh God. His name's Raheem or Chirac. Yeah, either of those would be fantastic.
But to do a content creator, to do like
do content creator stuff. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun. And on my table, actually, I really wanted to have Katya. Do you know who Katya is? The drag queen?
No.
Yeah, Trixie and Katya are two of my favorite drag queens. They're hilarious, and Katya often gets massages, and in their podcast they talk about it and stuff. And I just think I would really love to be able to have an opportunity to get, Brian, I guess, because I assume he wouldn't be in drag when I'm massaging him, but I would love to have him on my table because I think it just gives me that feeling of wanting to I feel like he needs that positive regard, and I feel like I could do a really great massage. I hear all the things he likes. That would be fun. I would love to do that.
Amazing. The message out there. Let's hope that this interview gets to him somehow and he'll be in your table. Okay.
Yeah, I know he likes Vegas, so maybe he'll give me a call.
There we go. There we go. Right, you can ask me a question now.
Where do you go dancing?
Oh my God, what a random nice question. My goodness, I love your question. I love your question. Out of over 1,000 interviews I had on the show so far, nobody asked me this question yet, and I love it. Right, the answer comes straight away. You know, London, there are so many places where you could go for a dance, for a night out, or just for have a good time and meet friends and have a great time. But lately, there is where I live in South London. Yeah, have you been in London before? No?
No.
Right. So I live in South London, and there is a bar, like it's a local bar where they have like a small dance floor as well, called the Cock Tavern. Yeah, it's very local. It's it's amazing because over there's so many friendly people. People they are there, and you have, you know, when you go to a place where there are no types, there are no stereotypes. People they are just there, you know, meeting friends, having a good time. The music are nice. Every night they have like weekends. I realized that they have different DJs, different music,
Mhm.
but you don't feel like in a club. You don't feel like in a bar. You feel like, you know, like a mixture of place where you are
Right.
talking,
Definitely.
you're having a good time at the same time as well. That music gonna play. You're gonna, oh my God, I love this music. Let me have a dance, and you go to this little dance, small dance floor, and you can have a great time. So I love it because in London, you know, there is a place called Soho. Soho is very well
Oh yeah.
known, like gay, but at the same time as well, it's very central. There are a lot of tourists there. People come to, you
Right.
know,
Right.
so at the same time, which is nice, it's amazing as well. I think it's a great place to be. But when you live in London, you know, you kind of tend to explore local
You don't
areas,
gotta
local
tell
places.
me. I'm not going to the strip for that stuff either. I've got a. In fact, it's called the Phoenix in Vegas, which is off the strip where I go, and
Right.
it's a similar kind of vibe where it's like
Yeah.
different people, different age groups, and
Yes.
uh,
It,
little drag shows, and
Yes, and over there is funny because, as you said, different ages, different people. There, it's so interesting because you see all the tribes there, different people, and everyone having a good time. And I think it's so.
that's the way
And
to do it.
it close quite early. I think it's 2 a.m. when they close. You know, and you feel like, okay, I have a great night out, and it's funny. It's interesting. So yeah, I would say that. I would say the
Very
Cock
good.
Tavern, like a very local place where I have a very good friend of mine. He lives the other side of London. I live in South. He lives in North London, and he comes all the way just to go to that place. So imagine how he feels the vibe. How the vibe is amazing to
That's
be there.
awesome. That's
So yeah,
awesome.
the Cock Tavern for sure. I think
So if I'm in
Latinos.
London, we can go dancing.
Absolutely. When you come in
I have a
London,
good
I'll show you the big scenes like Big Ben, you know, the Buckingham Palace, all those places. And after, I take you to the Cock Tavern for you to have a nice dance, nice night out for sure. Okay?
Wonderful.
Did you have a good time? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I was nervous a little bit at first, but I feel like it went well and I enjoyed it. So
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time for the interview. Thanks for being
no
so open
worries.
and talk about, you know, your memories in life, your, you know, your experience as well. And again, sharing those, you know, those genuine experiences that we have. You never know where those interviews can take and how people can connect with us. And at the end of the day, they appreciate as well knowing that there are someone in other part of the world where, you know, they're facing the same happiness, the same challenge, or the same, you know, experience in their lives. And it's so comforting knowing that. So thanks so much for taking
Right
the
on.
time.
Right
Amazing.
on. This is a pretty good little project you've got going. So
Thank you so much.
um, um, yeah, it looks like it's really you've got a lot of history now with doing this. So so many different interviews.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Thanks so much. And I'm expecting the scene that you did with Jack Dixon, okay, in private. I'm joking. I'm
I
joking.
only have I only have clips of it because Treasure Island Media has the original stuff, but I'll send you a clip.
I like clips actually. It's quicker.
All right, man.
Thank you
Very
so much.
good.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Um, just do your own thing. Like, don't don't be too concerned about what other people are doing. No matter what the environment, it's fine to look at other people, but ultimately you're going to have your own thing. So like focus there. That's where you should be going. Everything will be, again, it may not always be the easiest choice, but I think it's the best choice. So that's what I would say.
We don't like easy. We like, difficult
It's a
somehow.
good thing. It's a good thing I don't like easy.
Thank you so much. Regards to your husband, to your kid, and we keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure having you on the show, okay?
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Good luck, man. Have a
Take
good one.
care. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, sorry. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.